Now to a preview of tonight's interview on ABC News Live Prime. Just days after the fourth GOP debate, Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, along with her daughter Rena, in a wide-ranging interview.
Here's anchor of ABC News Live Prime and the Sunday edition of World News Tonight, our very own Linsey Davis, with that candid conversation.
Ambassador, certainly a big surge in the polls lately. You've been saying on the campaign trail, I just have one more fella I got to catch up with. Let's chat about that fella just for a moment. I want to start where the last debate left off. One question went unanswered as far as, is Donald Trump fit to be president? Chris Christie said he's unfit. I want to just put that directly to you in a yes or no. Do you think Donald Trump today in 2023 is fit to be president?
It's not about fitness. I think he's fit to be president. It's should he be president. I don't think he should be president. You know, I thought he was the right president at the right time. I agreed with a lot of his policies. The problem is, you see our country is in disarray. Our world is on fire. And you can't defeat Democrat chaos with Republican chaos. And Donald Trump brings us chaos. So it's not about being fit. It's just I don't think he's the right person to be president.
As you well know, the U.S. recently vetoed a UN Security Council vote calling for a ceasefire. Groups like Doctors Without Borders have said that that was a vote against humanity. I know that you have said no pause, no ceasefire. To date, we're talking about 17,000 Palestinians who have died, 7,000 of them children. My question to you is, how does this end at what cost?
Look, we care about the people in Gaza, especially the civilians. We know Hamas is there. We want to make sure that we get as many people out safe. We've got our hostages there. But the reality is, the best way to help the people in Gaza is to eliminate Hamas. That's who's been controlling their situation for so long. That's who uses them as human shields. And so what we know is anytime they've given a ceasefire to Hamas, people die. They kill Israeli soldiers. They kidnap Israeli soldiers. We see what happens. America and Israel value human life. It's what makes us a civilized country. Hamas does not value human life, and we should do whatever it takes to bring our hostages home. This is personal for America. 33 Americans were butchered. We have American hostages. We've got to make sure that we do right by the people who've suffered.
You've talked before about your own fertility issues when having your own two children. When we look at the numbers, polls in particular, even here in Iowa, this deeply red state, 70% of women say they want at least some access to abortion. I'm curious, as the only woman running on the GOP side, do you think that your gender gives you a different perspective when it comes to this matter?
I do. I do think it gives me a different perspective because I think for women, while it's personal for men too, for women, we feel it. We feel this for our daughters. We feel it for our sisters and our friends. I had a college roommate who was raped, and I wouldn't wish on anyone what she went through wondering if she was pregnant. And so everybody has a story. We need to start dealing with this with respect and with compassion. That's the only way that we'll move forward.
All right. Can we bring Rena in? What would you say to Gen Z voters as far as why your mom should be the next president of the United States?
She's strong, she's genuine, she's honest. What you see is what she gets. She's the same person at home as she is with the people, and so I think that's the special thing.
How did you feel when Vivek Ramaswamy brought you into the debate talking about that you were a TikTok user?
I mean, I felt like it was unnecessary. I feel like it's a kind of a people know not to bring kids into a situation, and so I felt like it was kind of uncalled for. But
when they say something about her, and I know she's sitting in that front row, as a mom, you know, I get my back up. But she's been a real support and good energy, and I love that.
And Linsey joins us now with more. There's so much that we could talk about the conversation that you guys had. But one of the things that critics of Nikki Haley have brought up is that she sort of flip-flops on Trump. What did she say about that?
You know, I asked her specifically about that. She said anti-Trumpers will say, I don't hate him enough. Pro-Trumpers will say, I don't love him enough. But her point is, we shouldn't focus so much on my personal thoughts on one individual. We have a world to save. She's saying, I'm the one who can do it. Trump does bring chaos, which is something that she has started to kind of evolve in what she's been saying here. And that she's no drama Nikki, basically, is how she kind of describes herself. But look, she said, I'm not going to agree with Trump on everything 100%. I'm not going to disagree with him on anything 100%.
And in your conversation, you also talked about how she's been very firm about no pause, no ceasefire in Gaza. She says that it is possible to defeat Hamas without destroying the Palestinian people.
What's so interesting, and this is something else that we really went in depth about, and especially because she had been ambassador of the UN, so this really is her wheelhouse. She says, for one thing, she does support a two-state solution. She says that that's something that she has supported all along, especially when she was in the UN, but she said the Palestinian people would never agree to that. And she's saying the best way to help the people of Gaza is to defeat Hamas. I talked to her specifically about Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying, you know, it ends up being a strategic defeat if we don't protect the Palestinian life. You can end up driving the Palestinians into the arms of Hamas and strengthening that, especially when you have these kids who are being orphaned and maybe feel like, oh, I have nothing to lose, and now they're angry. And can you really defeat an ideology? She says, yes, we can. The same way that we went after ISIS, we can defeat Hamas. You've got to go after the leadership, go after the money.
We'll have much more from Linsey's conversation. Her interview streams tonight on ABC News Live Prime at 7 p.m. Eastern.
It's always good to see you, friend.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Of course.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.